Oh, you hurt so often. We just stepped on their face with a hobnail boot and broke their nose. We just crushed their face.
40, 30, they won't catch him. Go, Swift, into the end zone. Touchdown! The freshman just ran it back to Philadelphia. Throws near sideline, and it's intercepted. Intercepted. Keely Ringo at the 21. Off he goes. 40, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, near sideline. Breaks the tackle. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, 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 Georgia.
I know I'm asking a lot, you guys, but hunker it down one more time.
Welcome in, everyone, to the Baxter Street Boys. We are glad you're here. If you're here with us live, welcome. If you're listening to us later on, we appreciate you. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast if you're not, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video, all that. You know what to do. Obviously, we're going to start out today. A little different tone. Just some tragic stuff going down in the family this week. Our thoughts and prayers, obviously, are to Devin Willock's family and Chandler LaCroix's family, and all those involved. You can't really put it into words. Just hope that there's peace brought to everyone who was affected by this and all involved, because it was sickening, really sickening to wake up to.
Yeah, and I mean it was a day after the parade. Everybody was so happy, and then it all came crashing down. And you even talk about people like Warren. SVP was behind them. I think Jalen Carter was. I think they were going to meet Jalen Carter. It's tough for everybody involved. Very sad. I will say I'm very glad that Chandler is getting, as much attention nationwide as Devin did too. Even though she wasn't a football player, she was an important part of the family, and I'm glad to see everybody paying their respects. They had GoFundMe set up, and it looks like everybody was chipping in. So very nice.
Yeah. It's been good to see just the outpouring of support for both of them. Because, I mean, they clearly were both incredible, just individuals, and very loved throughout the program and just throughout, everybody that they touched. So really sad stuff. And, sucks to have to open up with this. But, prayers out to everyone involved, because that's so hard.
It puts into perspective just like how little sports matter and all, like the actual game on the field. And what really matters is, the relationships you build within the sport. Like that's what's always been so fun for me as an athlete is the people I've gotten to know and the relationships I've built through all levels of sports, high school, college, everything. And so it was when something like that happens, like that's legitimately your family. So obviously, like Jake said, it doesn't matter that Devin Willock was an athlete. Like clearly, he affected so many lives. Chandler the same. So all those
guys on the basketball team talking about how much they loved him. I mean, not even the same sport.
Yeah, it was devastating, but clearly they both lived their life to the fullest. So just praying for their family continuously, and hopefully they can find peace in the situation. Obviously, there's really no good transition out of this to get into the show, so I'll just restart with. This is the Baxter Street Boys. I'm your host, Cole Wilcox, joined by co-host Jake Gordon and our producer, Griffin Rudy. Unfortunately, Griffin Rudy has been through some stuff, Griff. Take us over your last few days.
It really just started yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah. So yesterday, I go into work, I go into a one-on-one meeting with my boss, and I'm sitting there, we're talking, and I start getting this real sharp pain in my side, and I'm like, what's going on here? Like, what could possibly be wrong with me right now? And I start sweating, start getting nauseous. I'm like, hold up, like I gotta go to the bathroom or something. Like I'm not feeling right. So I go in the bathroom. I'm sitting there. I'm hurting. Feel like I need to throw up. Couldn't throw up or anything. So I end up going home, and I go home, and it just gets significantly worse. I'm like throwing up in the toilet, just dripping sweat. I'm like, I need to go to the emergency room. Like, I don't know what's going on. This is awful. And it got significantly worse to the point where I'm at the hospital, and I'm just like pacing around like the emergency room, waiting for them to like get to me because I'm hurting so bad. I couldn't even sit down. And so I had a kidney stone. got a kidney stone. Still hadn't come out yet. The pain isn't quite as bad now as it was then, because I couldn't even sit still at that point. But yeah, so hopefully it comes out sometime tonight.
As I told Griff when he Snapchatted me from the emergency room, I said, listen, he stayed skinny all these years. He looks like he's in great health. But that cheeseburger diet has caught up to him. If I read y'all off Griffin Rudy's diet on this platform, you guys might unsubscribe. It is unbelievable. And it finally caught up to him, and he's past it. But listen, here's what you got to know about Griff. I don't think this kidney stone is going to stop him from doing what he loves, which is eating cheeseburgers, chicken nuggets, and drinking Coke.
That's a fact. So
the pain ain't going to stop him.
Yeah, I'll just get better at passing them, so it'll be fine.
You'll be a vet next time.
Yeah. I'm not going to say what I was going to say about that, but
Zach says drink plenty of beer.
Yeah, true.
I don't know about all that. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's the pain like of the kidney stone?
Dude, I'm telling you, before I went to the emergency room, when I was going there, it was like a 10. I was hurting so bad.
What did you think was happening? Did you have any idea?
I thought my gallbladder collapsed first.
Yeah.
Because I'd heard a story about someone in high school that their gallbladder collapsed at school or something. And I was like, this sounds very familiar to what happened to them. And I was like, maybe it's something with my liver, or I had no idea. And freaking kidney stone. Gosh dang, dude. It hurts so bad.
That sucks. That's tough. Has it passed yet?
Did they give you the little colander for you to pee into, so when it comes out you can see it?
They didn't. I need to freaking figure out something where I can keep it.
Just put a colander over the toilet seat and piss in it.
Yeah,
every time.
I just got a coffee filter or something.
Just don't eat spaghetti for a while.
Yeah, brown ground beef. So yeah, listen. Obviously, football season is over. Rumor season is here though, and to get our brains kind of wound up. Obviously, we have a lot of time this off season, so you're probably going to get to know us a little bit better because we're going to have to do some things in this podcast that's not completely football related. So first, I start out with a little brain warm up because I just think about the stuff driving the truck all the time. And I need a platform to get it out, and so just straight random thoughts from us three, if we have one. Just get it out, see what you guys think. Because every day I walk out of my gym, I can hear there's obviously telephone poles up. And I can hear the electricity in the one closest to the gym. And it is a terrifying sound. Do y'all agree or disagree with that?
Yes.
Like when you can hear it just like buzzing off the telephone pole, that's terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Like I could never be a lineman.
You touch that, you're dead. Like
instantly.
Yeah.
I know a couple guys who do that for a living, and like when they get sent out when there's like a hurricane or something, I'm like, nah, man, I can't. Nah.
Yeah, that's terrifying. If I heard that crap, I would be off that ladder in an instant. I'd jump. I'd jump off the power pole. I'll take my chances.
I think this is kind of goes into my one random thought. I think we should do this new segment where we see how many random like college football and college basketball players, like random guys that were just super underrated, like Noel Devine. Noel Devine at West Virginia. Like they don't even have to be UGA guys. Like we'll just go through and rattle them off. We need to get like a running list, and we'll just go through and talk about these guys.
Just two each show.
My other random thought. How long before in college basketball we see coaches start to prioritize mid-major guards over recruits? Because you look at some of these guys, like a Jelly Walker, even like Terry Roberts, like guys like this, like mid-major guards, even in the tournament, they've shown that they are the guys who usually win those types of games. Experienced. If you're a coach, why would you want a one-and-done freshman who may be the most talented player on the court, no doubt, over a graduate transfer senior from a mid-major program? I think it's going to start trending that way.
No, I mean, that's a very good point. Like, think about the teams that's won the national championship the last few years. Like, they're not full of one and dones. Like, they're full of old. Like, that Baylor team was all old.
Davion Mitchell, yeah.
Jared Butler, all those dudes, yeah. So, and I heard somebody say that the other day about college basketball. Like, they need to treat grad transfer guards as a 5-star. Like, it's the same as a 5-star recruit at this point.
Would you rather next year? Would you rather have the number one recruit, or would you rather have Jelly Walker? Because I would take Jelly Walker.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. Anthony Edwards is pretty electric there.
Yeah, I guess it kind of depends is. Like, I mean, I don't know. The number one recruit, I'd probably take number
I think it
one.
depends on the team that you have. I think it depends on the team that you have. Like, if you have a team that can win a championship, probably Jelly Walker. If you have a team that needs some excitement in the building, probably number one recruit.
I can see that. Yeah.
I don't know where we're at yet.
We'll get to
Griff, you have any random thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I have a random thought. It's completely related to my kidney stone, but I've been thinking about it a lot recently because apparently people compare kidney stones. Somebody said it in here. They compare it to like a woman giving birth.
Oh, here we
go. Dude, I want to know like how close my pain was to that. Like, then like woman
just go ahead and
like,
claim it was worse.
So some woman is like, "Oh, you've never given birth." I'm like, "Well, actually, I'm pretty close to it."
Yeah. Just claim it's worse and move on.
Yeah.
My last, I have one quick. I'm about to get on a plane on Sunday and go to Tampa, and I'm dreading it because common sense on an airplane goes out the window.
Oh my god!
It
I was
goes
hoping this
out
was what you were going to say.
the window. It is disgusting. When I see someone, as soon as the plane lands, stand up to get 3 people in front, like stand up and just jump the person in front of them. Like, dude, you're getting off the plane in 0.4 seconds faster than you would if you just sat there. And I don't know what takes so much, so long up front to get the plane going. Like, once the lights come on, it's good to go. Like, just grab your stuff and get off the plane. I don't understand why it takes so long.
Here's one thing that I don't get. So, obviously, there's a pecking order. Like, they tell you when to board. There's an orderly process. You go by sections. When you get off, they're just like, all right,
go.
Head on out. Like, this is something that I do, and I don't believe y'all feel free to correct me. This is something that I do, and I don't believe there's anything wrong with this. If I'm on a 5-6 hour flight, I stand up, but I stand up in my own seat.
That's fine.
I don't think there's a problem with that. Like, if I'm by the window, which I usually try to get a window seat, I'll just stand up because I want to stretch my legs. I don't try to push to the aisle, get out. I feel like that's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And here's the rules of the airplane, just to live by. If you're sitting on the aisle, you have the aisle armrest. The person in the middle gets both middle ones. Person on the edge has one close to the window. Don't be a douchebag and take one of the ones in the middle. I've been stuck in the middle before. It's freaking awful. At least give them the 2 armrests.
You know what's crazy too? What's really crazy is if you're sitting at the window and somebody will reach up to the shade on your.
No way. I've never had that.
I've actually turned around and been like, "What are you doing?" And the guy looked at me. He's like, "What do you mean? What are you doing? Like, you're reaching over my shoulder right now."
Way. I've never seen that. That's bold.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah, it's like a rite of passage of common sense. It really is.
I mean, it's really just at the end of the day, it's not that hard to just I've got 2 sayings, just be normal and have common sense.
I'm pretty sure that's my saying. I'm almost positive it is.
We all won off the plane. You're not getting ahead of anybody.
I mean, it's really just that. If you go through life by those 2 things, you're gonna make it pretty good.
Yeah, no doubt.
I absolutely agree.
Well, I just saw more rumors on Twitter, so we might as well just get into rumor season. I don't even know where to start. It's as soon as the parade's over, it's time to start just making stuff up.
Yeah,
is what happens. And sometimes there's smoke behind it. Sometimes there's not. It comes from I saw some people really buy into a page that was called, I should have saved the tweet, College Football Troll on Facebook or something. CFB Troll posted Kirby Smart is interviewed for the Colts job, and people said thoughts ?
My mom sent me that.
You're probably a moron for believing it. It says College Football Troll.
My mom sent me that, and I was like, Jade, we gotta figure it out.
Look at the name of the profile you're getting your sourced information from. College Football Troll. Don't buy it. Do not buy it.
Yeah, another thing too. I don't want to disappoint everybody here, but we've already made a decision at the show. We're not talking about 5.
No,
we're just not talking about it. Everything. I heard about this about a day or 2 before it happened. I was already tired of the comments before I even knew what they were before they even started. I knew what they were all going to be, and they were exactly what I knew they were going to be. I don't want to talk about it. We don't really care for the discourse. We're just not going to talk about it. So I hate to disappoint, but you're not getting anything out of us on that.
This is a Georgia-based podcast. He's no longer a Georgia football player. He's officially a non-subject.
Yeah. So, but Sherman, Gilbert both went to Nebraska. Interesting.
Cool landing spot.
I think Sherman will kill it in Nebraska.
We'll see. Nebraska has literally never met any expectation since that so
they've never even met an expectation. I feel like that's a good.
They really haven't, man. Like I saw them at 7 wins this year in Vegas, and I hammered that under, and they won 2 games, 3 games, whatever it was. I mean, it is what it is.
It's funny too because they came out swinging. They came out on that first drive versus Northwestern.
Oh, I know.
And you were like, "Oh, dang, Casey Thompson can sling it, son."
I don't know if you remember this or not, but I wanted to bet them to win the Big Ten West or East, whatever that Big Ten West, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I forgot to do it before that first game, and they scored that first touchdown. I think I texted you, Griffin. I'm like, "Dang it, dude! I forgot to put it in. I'm pissed off."
Yeah, I remember.
I not to win another game.
I was so mad at that one too because I had Northwestern under 3 wins for the season. 3. That was the only game that won all year. I knew Northwestern was going to be terrible this year.
Dang.
Yeah.
Your team's only win. Your
butt juice game.
Yeah,
butt juice game. But yeah, so those guys. I saw Eric Gilbert today. Hopefully he can get on the field and play because he's a freak talent, good athlete. Wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah, I want to see
Sherman, nothing but the best. So I saw one that's pretty interesting here, and this is going to be a kick in the ribs at another school. Tresman Marshall might be going to Bama. I heard the other day that Saban was in Athens talking to Tresman Marshall, a guy who is a really good player. He helped us out some this year, and he's been the Dogs for a long time. But he's not one of our starters, and we're bringing in a really good linebacker class this year, and he probably since he was getting pushed further down the depth chart. But Nick Saban, King Saban, dynasty leader Saban, is coming to Athens to get guys who are not going to be on the field for us.
Don't take this as a shot at Trez because Trez is a fantastic coverage linebacker.
He's a great player. I didn't want to lose him.
We're literally losing 5 stars after 1 year. We just saw Singletary head out. That's just the consequence of developing and having great players. But it's not a knock on Trez. But I understand what you're saying. I love Trez. Like I said, as long as he's not going on radio shows and knocking the program like somebody else who went to Bama. I really probably won't have that many bones.
Another non-subject.
Yeah, probably won't have that many bones with him. I like the guy. I guess we'll see if that comes to fruition. That is not official. That is just something that has been rumored, but we'll see.
If you can't beat them, poach their backups. That's really what you're gonna do at this point in this day.
I really hope Trez doesn't go to Bama.
Yeah, I know.
He's one of the guys he left. I was like, I'm still going to really like him. And
it's hard to blame him for if Saban's coming to giving you the pitch. You can go start for Alabama right now. It's like, okay.
Okay, come on. Yeah.
They put linebackers in the league crazy, about as the same rate as we do. So it's tough to blame him, but I go to Nebraska with Sherman. Somewhere else. I hope he doesn't, but he probably will. But I just found that extremely funny.
We were having that conversation the other day, and I was like, I don't want our guys going to, other SEC schools. And they were like, somebody's like, why are you afraid you're going to lose to them? I'm like, no, because I want to still like them.
Right. You can't pull for Tresman Marshall anymore if he goes to Alabama. Yeah, it just can't happen.
Yeah, there's certain schools where if he went to, we could pull for him, but
Nebraska.
Yeah.
There's
just some guys we never pull for no matter where they went, but
that's
been a few years.
Under certain circumstances, it's like, well, you can't pull for him anymore.
Even if they do go to somewhere like Florida and, probably wasn't going to pull for him anyways. I think we can let that one go now. We saw how that one worked out for all parties involved.
Yes. Who else has changed? Who else we got landed? Brett Seethy went to Georgia Tech. Don't blame him for that. He's following Buster Faulkner.
Yeah, that's understandable. I have no any of those tight ends. Those guys stayed the whole time. They cut their teeth, especially Ryland. I have no hard feelings for any of those guys.
It's just let's talk about this. When was the line drawn of when you're upset and when you're not upset at the guy? Is it
let's be honest. It's totally a talent thing at a certain point. It's a talent.
No doubt. That is a big factor.
That has a factor, but also I feel like it's can you understand why they're leaving or not? If you can't understand why they're leaving,
you can rationalize
the guy that we're not going to talk about,
But it's also tough too because you don't know like what's going on behind the scenes.
True.
I think I've been thinking about this. I think it is like you said, it's hard to put into words, but it is. Can you give it a rationale? Or
how big of a hole are they leaving in your team?
Perfect example.
Yeah.
Don Blaylock. I want Don Blaylock to go somewhere and absolutely blow it up and go to the NFL. I am rooting for that guy so hard, unless he goes to like Tennessee or Florida.
Yes.
And if he does, I guess I understand.
I think here's a one non-negotiable. If you transfer out after 1 year, you're not going to get a lot of love, right?
No doubt. Yeah.
Like Julian Humphrey, I'm very indifferent on that. It's like whatever, dude.
Wait, it was Singletary, right? Hump's still here.
Yeah. Singletary. Yeah, Singletary.
I get them mixed up too. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, okay, dude, like you're gonna give it 1 year when we had a really good secondary. There's gonna be holes next year. Whatever. He's out. But with guys like Trez, like he stuck it out. He's been there a long time. He's competed. He got on the field. He helped us out, and now he wants a bigger role, probably to get some NFL time. Like that's cool. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But then, like there's some where you have everything in front of you. You've been our guy, stuff like that, and you leave, and it's like, okay, whatever, dude.
Well,
so I don't know. I don't know what that line is.
There's also like there's a certain point. Okay, like we are fans, obviously. We have our interests.
Right.
They have their interests. And I don't think either side should have hard feelings for either side for going after their best interests most of the time.
I think
most of the time.
I think also like it has to do with, and we're young guys, so like we don't have all the answers, obviously. But when we know that they might be getting misinformation about like transferring schools does not make you a better player, right? It does not make you a better player.
No.
The grass is not always greener.
You can have an increased role, but that does not mean you're a better player. Take Jermaine Johnson, for instance. He was a great player at Georgia. He started. He played a lot. We had a lot of great players behind him that rotated in. That's the kind of defense we played. He seeked a bigger role. It paid off. Do I think if he stayed at Georgia, he would have got drafted around the same area? Yes, I do. But he went somewhere, and he got a bigger role. That's fine. He did not become a better player because he transferred. Jameson Williams did not become a better player because he transferred.
No.
He became a better featured option, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's what I think that's what everybody's seeking is. And I like the confidence. Like, if I go here, I can display my talents better. Well, how talented are you? That's the question. Are you Jameson Williams?
Or are you Jermaine Burton?
That's what's tough. And I think we're like, well, are you really going after your best interest, or is someone telling you it's your best interest? So I don't know. There's transfer season's always funny to me because there's just so many different sides. It's conflicting. Like,
yeah,
the DGD arguments are the best.
I know, dude.
That's hilarious because I think we're saying this in the same way. You saying they're the best. I think they're the worst. Oh my God, that is the worst discourse this fan base has right now. It drives me up.
I think we mean the same thing by that.
I think we do too.
I find it just comical.
Yeah,
like it's so funny.
It's just the dumbest. It's the dumbest argument. Oh my God, who can say it? Who can't say it? Who is? Who isn't? Can you do this and still be it? Like, oh my God, guys, just give it a rest.
I think we get it, but
it gets thrown around like it's freaking, whatever. Like it should be held to a higher standard, I think personally, but it is what it is.
It's a weird thing to gatekeep. I will say that.
No,
if you were actively like, you can't call this guy that, you're being weird. You should hold it to a higher standard.
Let's talk about the biggest rumor, the one that could shift the focus of our season next year or not. Todd Monken.
Yeah.
There's speculation about the Tampa Bay job. And this is coming from three guys who have never talked to Todd Monken, know pretty much nothing about what he's going through and what he wants, what his wife may want, what his kids may want if he has kids. I don't even know if the guy has kids. All I know is the dude can dial up some freaking offense. And I would love to have him on the sidelines this year. Or in the box, wherever he is. And here's my stance. I would be floored if he goes to Tampa, personally speaking. I don't think Brady's there. And if he's there, he ain't there for another 2 years. Then you have a question mark at quarterback. Then you become maybe a stagnant offense. Tampa
And you have
is
a coach
an
who might be
old,
getting
old
fired.
team. Right, a coach on the hot seat. I understand that. I've heard the rumor that his wife really liked Tampa when they were in there. Tampa's a nice city. But there's more nice cities. And I would be shocked if he takes this one. Coming from an outside source. So take that as you will. The one that scared me as soon as it went on the market was the Chargers. And I understand that's a big move going from Athens to LA or Vegas, wherever the heck they're at now.
Yeah,
LA and Vegas might as well be the same thing. LA. That's going from East Coast to West Coast. That's a big move. A really, really big move. I understand that. But you're talking about an offense that is missing Todd Monken from being really good. That's the Chargers. Yeah. They're loaded. They have weapons everywhere. They have a quarterback that could arguably be the best in the NFL with the right coaching and right system.
Yep.
That's the one that scared me the most. That's the one I would not be surprised if he took.
I read it today. There's like 11 offensive coordinator openings in the NFL, and it's like, oh my God, I don't want him to leave. It's selfish, I know. And you look at even too, like Dylan Raiola and like Monken's been recruiting this kid hard, best quarterback prospect in years, and it's like we got a prime away from his literal family at Nebraska. It's tough, but losing Monken would really hurt. That would hurt more than any player, maybe outside of 19 going in the portal. I think that would hurt.
Oh, God, that would kill me. Here's the thing. I really genuinely do not think he's going to take a job that does not have a top half quarterback with a really good weapons around him, where he can come in and they say, that's your offense, go score points. He's not going to a startup. He's not going to Coach Carson Wentz. Like, that's just not what he's doing. He is in such a good spot in Athens. Like, as Brooke said on Twitter today, it's arguably the best OC job in college right now because all he has to do is recruit a quarterback. That's it. Everybody else, you got McClendon recruiting the receivers. You got Kirby on the trail, as always. Bobo's getting mixed in there. He's always been a good recruiter. Like, all these guys, Dale McGee's going to give you some good running backs. Stacey Searles is always recruiting. Those guys are going to have weapons around you where all you have to do is dial it up every year. And you get to live in Athens. You get to pick your quarterback, like I said, and you have full reign of that offense. You have full reign. Like, it would take a lot for him to leave. And I know people keep saying, write the blank check, Kirby.
I don't think it's a money thing.
It's not. He's making more than most NFL OCs right now, like a lot more. He made way more than Leftwich made it with the Bucks this year. Like, it's not a money thing. That's not what's going to pry him away. Todd Monken is a competitor at the highest level. He wants to compete at the highest level. And I think what he's going to have to weigh in and what he's been weighing in is, can I go win a Super Bowl? Like, I've won the Natties. Can I go win a Super Bowl? That's what's going to be what pulls him. And I respect that. Like, as a competitor, you want to be at the highest level. I get that. So if he thinks he's upgrading, that's when he will take a job. It has nothing to do with money.
I think people really also underestimate how much work being a college football coach is as well.
Exactly.
In terms of recruiting and things like that. Like Kirby's just one of those natural recruiters. Let's be honest. Any successful college football coach, any of them, they're psychos. They are not normal people. Kirby Smart, love him to death, would die for him. Psycho. You have to be a psycho to do this job because it's 24/7, 365.
100%.
Recruiting, all this stuff. And a lot of guys don't want to do that, especially when you've been in the NFL and you see how the NFL is. The NFL, you make more money. It's a lot easier. Not easier in terms of the actual game itself, but in terms of like on your life.
A lot less taxing.
Yes. There's an actual off season. There's no off season in college football. Josh Pate says it does.
Yeah.
No.
That's part of it. And I think that's what a lot of people don't get. There's not, a couple $1 million is not going to make up that difference.
That's not it. Like,
especially when
we can match
older guy.
Whatever he gets in the NFL. Put it that way.
Monken's an older guy too. I remember whenever he was talking about interviewing for head coaching jobs, and somebody asked him like about it, and he's like, "Well, nobody wants me because I'm old as shit," which is hilarious. That's just Monk, but he's kind of right, and that doesn't matter as much in the NFL.
Yeah, I love that guy. Like, I don't know. Like, I still don't think he's leaving personally. If I had to say right now, like gun to my head, I think he's staying. I really do.
I hope so.
I think he's got such a good system. Would it be exciting to see who he brought in? Kind of like having an OC search.
I think it would be Mike Bobo. I'm going to be honest.
I genuinely do not. I really, really do not.
We could agree to disagree, but knowing Kirby, promoting within, things like that, like it's just Bobo's his lifelong friend. Muschamp already there, and I brought this up today. We were talking about it. Like Bobo and Muschamp, they took care of Kirby when he was a young pup. That means a lot to him. And I don't know if that necessarily means he'll make him the offensive coordinator, but he's absolutely going to be interviewed and in consideration for it.
Maybe. I think maybe if this happened in 2012, for sure. I think now where Georgia's at and the weapons we have, I think you can pretty much get the pick of the litter.
Someone go get Cliff Kingsbury out of Thailand.
I mean, dude, it wouldn't be out of the question. I was thinking about somebody today. I can't remember who it was.
The Spike Squad had a pretty funny post. They were like, Sean McVay, UGA next offensive
coordinator. That'd be crazy.
How nuts would that be?
Yeah, he's going to retire from NFL head coach and come be a college OC for sure.
Dude, wait.
For sure. But yeah, we'll see about Mock. I mean, rumors are going to fly. Literally, like all that rumor was today is he's their number one option. It was nothing like Monken wants the job or he's being interviewed. It was just,
I got a name for you.
They want him.
This just came on. This is just absolutely just popped in my head. I got a name for you. Joe Brady.
I thought that earlier. I mean, why not?
I could tell you a million reasons why. I don't know if I could tell you many why not.
Listen, if you got Raiola, there's nobody's telling you no. Like that's where I'm at with that. That's where I'm at. If you get Raiola and you have Kirby's defense, you see what Mock's done. Like, who knows? That's why I wouldn't be that concerned because Kirby's been nailing hires since Coley. Like he's nailed hires. He's learned
to the Ferrari.
He's learned like you can't have that conservative offense anymore. Like you don't hire someone you can bully and tell him what to run. Hire somebody who's going to come in and do what he does and score points. Nobody ever really heard of Todd Monken. That was unless you were deep in football before we hired him, and we really didn't know what he was about. Kirby went out and got him. Look at him. So I don't really concern myself with it. I would be really sad to see him go, but there would be a little bit of excitement too.
I agree. I do agree. It would be
he's leaving right now, though. Right at this particular moment, I think he's sticking around for a minute.
Josh Heupel, next UGA offensive coordinator. I mean, it would be taking a risk.
I don't even know if I'd want that, but I think I would love how it would just kill Tennessee fans.
we had this discussion. Like we were talking about this today. I think it would be an all-time generational day on Twitter with the meltdowns if Heupel ended up leaving Tennessee for some reason.
Oh yeah.
You want to talk about generational meltdown if we had to hire a new OC?
Oh no, don't even now.
Honestly though, I mean like dude.
He just doesn't recruit. He doesn't recruit. I can't have it.
Yeah, he doesn't recruit. That's true.
There's no way Kirby.
Get a quarterback.
Other people can do it for him.
Go get a quarterback.
There's no way Kirby.
No, Kirby hates it. Kirby hates it. It would be funny though. God, funny.
It would be very funny.
Dude, I've been seeing. Speaking of Josh Heupel in Tennessee fans they're on a different level right now.
It's their favorite time.
This is their favorite time of the year.
It's next year. It's next year. This is the best time of the year for them.
I saw on TikTok, and it was like people ranking Tennessee quarterbacks. Do y'all know who they had ranked number one?
Josh Dobbs.
Was it Hooker?
It was Hendon Hooker. I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. And Peyton Manning at number 2, T. Martin at
Hall of
number
Famer,
3,
the guy
Josh Dobbs number 4,
That's good stuff.
Hendon Hooker number 1.
That's great.
Peyton Manning never won a national championship. People forget.
I love that.
Hendon Hooker basically did because if he wouldn't have gotten hurt, then
probably
and if they had been on neutral field
over. And if it wouldn't have rained versus Georgia,
he would have won. Just count it. Count him as one.
That's a national championship. Yeah.
Let's talk about what people really want to know. What people are really itching to talk about. The Georgia basketball Hoop Dogs.
Yeah.
Are 13-5 and 3-2 in the SEC. Narrowly lost 2 road games where they were in it the whole time against 2 really good teams, 2 tournament teams that were in it the whole time. The Hoop Dogs are here, boys. They're here and they're scrappy. They're everything we hoped they would be. Let's put it that way.
That's one of the great things about Georgia basketball too, is because people will try to get on me when they lose, and I'm like, dude, I don't care. I was like, we're not a doormat anymore. Do you know how, like, it's refreshing to just be like, oh well, we competed and still just be happy with, you know, obviously we want to win the game, and I don't like it when we lose, but I'm like, we're not a doormat anymore.
No,
like that's really what matters,
dude. This season, I'm fully back. Like last year, I couldn't watch games and like get into it.
Disgusting.
But this year, dude, like I was watching that Kentucky game, and after we lost, I was like actually pissed for a little bit. Like I was like, gosh dang it. Like we should have won that game. And it feels good to be pissed again.
Yeah. Listen, like, there was an outcry on Twitter, and that's how it happens every year because Kentucky's on ESPN every single year. And it's the first game anyone's ever watched. They're like, oh, we're 13-4, and we're pretty good. Watch the Kentucky game, don't know anything, and then draw just outrageous conclusions about the team, get all pissed off on Twitter, which I like to see the passion. But, like, don't tear down the program if it's the first game you watched and it's the first time you've seen it all year. Don't draw, like, massive conclusions. This team, I saw it's the same old team as years prior. Same Georgia, can't beat Kentucky. I was like, well, we couldn't beat anyone the past few years, much less Kentucky. Yeah. Like, guys, how many teams come in Rupp Arena and win? Like, they act like it's some, like, Georgia Achilles heel. They can't win at Rupp Arena. Yeah, no one else can either. Like, that's why that place sells out since the freaking 60s. Like, it's a college or basketball blue blood. Nobody wins in Rupp Arena. Like, it happens, like, twice a year. So, relax on that. We're going to beat them at home when they come to the Steg. They can't win the Steg. How about that? I'll start that rumor.
I'll be there.
Yeah. Like, we're going to be fine. A guy, one of the best players in college basketball, had a generational game against us. Okay.
Yeah.
He had 34
and like 22.
What the heck are we supposed to do with that?
This team has its flaws, and I don't think they're by any means a team that's going to be in the Elite Eight or contending for a championship. No. But you know what I see out there? I see a lot of guys that are giving effort on defense, that are clogging up passing lanes, and they don't quit. They don't give up. And you know what I saw last year? I saw a team that as soon as you kicked them, they laid right down. They were done.
100%. That's the only thing I asked for this year. And people put outrageous expectations on this team this year for some reason. Once we start winning games, we expect to win every game, which is fine. That's what fans do, and it's part of the passion. Take a second and reflect, guys. We won one SEC game last year, and it was a fluke. It was a gigantic fluke.
I was in attendance. That was electric, actually. That was the funniest thing of all time.
Here's what's great about this team and Mike White is he came in and established an identity, which is all I asked for. He comes in and he plays just get up in your face, suffocating defense, which is so fun to watch. Like, it keeps us in every game. And on offense, what I've been really pleased with is we've won games in a lot of different ways. Like, there's been some games where the guards play really well, and we play through the guards. We have a lot of pick and rolls. And there's some games where we just dump it down there to Bridges, dump it down there to Moncrief, let them work. If we feel like we have an advantage there, which we did against Kentucky, we kind of went away from it the second half. Watch the next time we play them. We're going to freaking feed those posts the whole game. But that's what I really enjoy about this team is Mike White is willing to win games in different ways, but the consistency is they're going to play defense.
And there's an identity. That's what we needed. We needed some type of identity.
And we knew this team was different. We all said it after the UTC game where we were down the whole time. Last year, that team kicks the bucket. They're done. They start jacking three. They start letting guys go by them, trying to wrap around steals. This year, we won the game in the final 4 minutes. That's the first time we've done that in years, probably since Memphis in
We also haven't lost a game at home this year.
Second longest SEC home winning streak.
Oh, the Steg is popping, baby.
People are talking.
Who has the longest one? Isn't it Tennessee?
It's probably Alabama. No, Tennessee just lost.
Oh wait, that's right. They just lost. Dang,
Tennessee.
Dang, why couldn't we have been the first one?
Listen, I want to put the college basketball nation on notice. You don't just walk into Stegman Coliseum and come out with a win. You walk in Stegman Coliseum, you better earn it. You better put your big boy shorts on and come in and earn it. Maybe in years past, it was a walkover. It was a rug. We're no longer a rug. We're the freaking hard lock on the door. You better come in and open us up. We ain't going to open the door unless you're in. You better come knocking and beat it down.
Listen,
Steg is here to stay.
It's a rusty.
Spike and the boys are rowdy, and you ain't coming in here and get an easy win.
It's a rusty old lock, and you got to wiggle that key like 100 times. You got to turn it real hard,
and you got to give it a good kick.
Get it open.
Hey, we've been selling out too, and I think they've sold out the next 3 home games. I'll be there. I'm going to be there. I'm going to try to be there for all 3. It's fun, man. If you've never been to, if you live in Athens, if you're a Georgia student, listen to this. If you've never been to a basketball game, go. It's so much fun, even if they lose. Which, by the way, I've never attended a loss. I'm 7-0. 7-0. Not to brag.
We don't lose at home. Stegeman Coliseum is the spot in college basketball. It's the premier spot at this point. The numbers back it up.
It's so fun to have a rowdy crowd at basketball games too. So much fun.
No team comes in and beats us. Ask Auburn. Ask them. The Ole Miss game was awesome. We closed the game on the road. Big time SEC road win. Those are hard to get. Like, people don't understand that. Oh, we can't win Rupp Arena. Yeah, win on the road is hard in the SEC. We're gonna have plenty of opportunities. All we gotta do is get a couple. That's what people gotta understand. Like, that's how RPI works. RPI losing on the road does not hurt you very much. If you can sneak a few games on the road, like that Ole Miss win, is our biggest win of the season by far for that road purpose.
I think the Auburn win's probably our biggest.
RPI boost is higher than that Ole Miss one. I'm telling you, the road wins and RPI are valued way higher.
It doesn't matter what our RPI is because we're going to win the SEC. We're going to win the tournament.
Facts.
Where's the tournament this year? It was in Tampa last year.
Probably Nashville.
Usually Nashville. Yeah, I don't know why I was in Tampa last year.
If it's in Tampa, you got to go.
I was glad that I went every game. It was awesome. Not the Georgia game. Screw that.
Well, we played on Wednesday, I'm sure, and then lost.
I wasn't paying my money to go watch that.
Where did we go? We went on that Friday, right?
I went the last 3 days. I went to the championship. I went to both semifinal and court. It was sick. But yeah, the Hoop Dogs are fun, man. Like Terry Roberts, his first team all SEC. He's really, really good.
He's really good. He's awesome.
That Mississippi State game was so ugly, but they found a way to win. And it
to
got the point where the game was so bad it was fun
about
to watch.
This team versus the past Tom Crean teams.
It's very Mark Fox-esque with more guys who can put the ball in the hole. Like, it felt like Mark Fox teams, we only had one guy we could go to. And it's like, if he don't hit shots, we're going to lose. It's like Deontay Maton. Then it was J.J. Frazier. Like, the good teams that we made the tournament with had multiple options. Kenny Gaines, Charles Mann, young Yante, young JJ. Those were the good teams. This season, it's like, all right, Terry Roberts can go get a bucket. Or the end of the Ole Miss game, Cario Quindo can take over and score the last 15 points. Or against Notre Dame, Braylon Bridges could go 9 for 9 from the field and drop 20. Like, there's options. And that's
Jabri Abdur-Rahim. He can hit shots.
We need him to be a sharp shooter.
Yeah.
If he could be that step up and be that sharp shooter, this team could be really, really good. And they're gonna be a hard out.
I'm gonna say something.
Can score every now and then. Like,
we're gonna be riding the bubble come tournament time. I'm telling you. We're gonna be riding that bubble.
I'm gonna say something outrageous that I can never be held accountable for. So this is hilarious. I don't know if he would have chose Georgia. I'm gonna go ahead and say he would have because it doesn't matter. If we had Scoot Henderson, we would be undefeated.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's so nasty. It was us in Auburn, I think. He wouldn't have chose Auburn. He would have picked us.
No doubt.
If Scoot hadn't gone to the G League and he had played for us, we would have had him back.
We'll get him in. We'll get him in soon.
By the way, this is something I did not know. So you know the TikToks where it's like, oh, the 2006, top 20 high school basketball players, where are they now? Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know Lou Will was committed to us. I know he went out of high school. I did not know that.
Well, every time I go on 247 and look at like recruiting stuff for basketball, it shows like at the bottom of the screen like the top recruits that UGA's ever had, and number 1 is Anthony Edwards, obviously. Number 2 is Lou Will, I think.
I think he's still the all-time scoring leader.
Like a Lou Will.
I think he's still the all-time scoring leader in Georgia high school basketball.
He was a bucket. He still is a bucket, dude. Like, that's professional scorer. I literally would blare that song that day when Trae Young was out and against the Bucks, and he went crazy.
I probably listened to that song 20 times.
I was so fired up. I loved him. I was like, this guy's awesome. Basketball, we got a game on Saturday against Vandy at home. It is, for tournament purposes, it is a must-win. It is officially a must-win. Like, you got to win the games at home, especially the winnable ones. From here on out, we have a road gauntlet coming up.
Yeah.
Road gauntlet.
I know we got Auburn, Bama, and Tennessee
on the road.
You hear people say, we can't win on the road. Like, it's a gauntlet. We got to steal one.
We are winning against Tennessee on Wednesday, though. So
dude, I couldn't. Like, if we beat Tennessee on Tuesday, you better mute your Twitter mode.
Yeah, I think it's Wednesday, right? Is it Wednesday or Tuesday?
We always
this is our nothing to lose spot. This is our TCU in the Natty moment. We're not going to go out like TCU did, but this is our absolutely nothing to lose, no shame whatsoever.
Dude. And the thing about it is, like, Tennessee's really, really good, especially defensively. But it ain't nothing for them to go 8 minutes without putting the ball in the hoop.
Dude,
like,
yeah.
If they go on one of those offensive stands where, especially against our defense, which is top 20 in the nation, which is insane. Last year we were like 140. This year we're top 20. It's gonna be fun. If we beat them guys,
all I'm saying is, dude, I watched that whole Mississippi State game, okay, and there are a lot of similarities between us and Mississippi State, but I think we score the ball better than Mississippi State does.
Everybody scores better than them.
Yeah, they stink. But, dude, if Tennessee plays the way they played against Mississippi State versus us, and I get it's at home, it's not away, it's different, but, dude, we can –
That's the thing about a defensive-minded team that travels. That's going to keep you in any game. All you got to do is knock down a few shots. We get hot from the three-point line, play good defense. It's a game with anyone. It's a game with anyone. But that's our basketball talk. Like we said, Saturday, 1 o'clock, either be on your TVs or be in the Steg, preferably in the Steg, and let's go win a game. Vandy is scrappy. They're pretty freaking good. They don't have a great record, but they've also played like Alabama, Tennessee, like all the best teams in the SEC. And they hung with Bama on the road the other day, or at home the other day. They backdoor covered, I think, almost. So they're not bad, but we have to be.
Yeah, before we close, we can close with this. I've seen this in the comment a few times, and I don't know how he forgot this, but Glenn Schumann rumors to Alabama. Let's be honest, they are real. If you want my professional opinion, which is not worth anything, but one of my buddies who played for Bama said he thinks it's Pruitt, and I think it's going to be Pruitt.
Me too. It's Pruitt, guys. It's Jeremy Pruitt.
Yeah.
Schumann is – look, I'm selfish. I want him to stay. I think Pruitt – I think Schumann could get a head coaching job in a year or two.
No doubt.
So,
which I gotta understand too. Like, you hear like the weird people that cheat on their husbands and wives, call like work wives and stuff. Those are weirdos. But Schumann is Kirby's work son. Like, he's raised him in the coach's ranks. Since Alabama, he brought him over. Like, that is his guy. I have multiple sources from inside the program say that Kirby reams him at practice. Reams him. Like a father reaming his son. Like, that's the relationship they have. And the guy and my buddies say that Schumann just said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like, it's father, son. Schumann loves Kirby. Kirby loves Schu to death. He's going to keep him. And when he gets a job like Dan Lanning, that's a big-time program where he can go succeed, Kirby's going to say, go take that job. Like, you earned it. You deserve it. That's what I think. I don't think it's a lateral move. No chance.
I heard a very interesting perspective because I told you my buddy, he played at Alabama, and he was telling me, he said, they had a lot of problems last year when you could tell guys on their defense were miscommunicating. They didn't understand what was going on. And he said, Goldman was a good coach. Goldman's a good guy. And he said he had problems understanding that. And I'm saying I can understand why that's what Nick Saban would be going for, is somebody, because that's Schumann's whole thing, is he translates this defense. Exactly. And he breaks it down, and he makes one of the most complicated defenses in college football simple. And I could see why Nick Saban would be interested in that. And that was his perspective on it. But I think it's going to be Jeremy Pruitt. Jeremy Pruitt is a fantastic defensive coordinator. Let's not get that twisted.
And that's the thing about the monster that Kirby's built. There'd be so many options to promote. Not Todd Hartley, linebackers coach, going brain dead.
Cheetah.
Yeah, that's outside. I'm talking about middle linebackers coach. It gets them all.
Oh, I don't know. I'm going brain dead too.
Dang it.
I'm on my third.
I can picture his face.
Yeah, I'm on my third block of water. I'm not going
to look that up for me.
Yeah, staff department. Get on that.
All right, here's a question to end it. First, we have a question in the comments. We love these non-sports related questions. How do we get everyone to stop eating ranch dressing?
Whoa! What? Whoa!
Where's this attack coming from?
What's the purpose?
Here's the thing. I do hate that when people put it on everything. It's not a sauce to put on everything. It does ruin pizza. But
I disagree. But yes, go ahead.
But yeah, with wings, like, what do you eat with your wings?
See, I hate the debate when somebody's like, "Oh, ranch or blue cheese." Like, you got to pick one. I'm a grown man. I'm going to look at the server in the eye and say, "Let me get both." What's the issue?
Both options. Like, what are you going to eat with your wings? You don't have.
Now, I will say, if you were eating a high quality pie, like if you were in Brooklyn getting, the best slice in the whole city, don't dump ranch on it. If you're at Domino's, get as much ranch as you want. It doesn't matter.
Griff, you look it up.
I can't even find it, dude. I mean, I only find the outside guy. that we already talked about.
We're losing some credibility here.
Yeah, I know.
We didn't have much of that to start with.
Whatever. Yeah, we're not worried about that. So this is a question we got from one of our loyal followers on Twitter. One of the only ones, but it's a great one. From Buck Hammonds, car dealership in Athens. This guy says, you're at your girlfriend's house for dinner. It's just her dad, her mom, her, and you. 4 people. They make 8 burgers. Her and her mom eat 1 each. How many burgers are acceptable to eat? So that leaves 6 burgers between you and her dad. I don't think her dad's eating more than 2, right?
I think you take all 6 just to establish that you are the man of the house.
Dominance.
Nah, I think you take 4. You eat 4.
4? You're eating 4.
Yeah.
No, dude. First off, here's what we have to establish. How long in the relationship are you? That's a good question. Let's say like first year. You can't eat all 4, dude.
No, you can eat 2.
Like, are these sliders? Like
two? No. Regular burgers.
I just eat 1. I eat like a bird, but I'll just take 1. I
could easily house 3.
What kind of sides are we working with? Do we have fries?
I don't know. That's a good caveat, but I think the basis of this question is like, what is respectable in terms of like how many is too much where they're like, this kid is either starving at home, he's either extremely disrespectful, just eats all of our food, or he's just a fat lard.
I think 2 is the line. I don't think 1.
I see. Okay, I think you can sneak 3 in, but the line is definitely set at 2.5.
Okay.
And you have to decide over under. That's where it's set at. You can't get 4. You cannot eat all 4.
I think
There's
2.
no way.
I think 2. I'd go 2.
I really, really think you can sneak 3. Because, like, in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, the dad's a blue-collar man, right? Is he taking this for leftovers tomorrow? Or are they using this as leftovers as a family?
Also, it could be like, oh, man, it was so good, I just had to have another
Exactly.
one. And you compliment
That's another spot. And it's like, he's scared to eat. He's a wuss. Like, no, I'm trying to be respectable. Definitely 2. You have to eat 2, I think.
You have to eat 2. You have to eat more than 1.
I think you can slide that 3rd one in.
I think you can if you want to. I think you can work it out.
I think it's a judgment call, but I think it's acceptable to eat that.
Oh, yeah.
That leaves 1 for lunch the next day. Right?
Sure.
Everybody's happy.
I was at my buddy's house over the summer with his parents at the lake, and they made like a whole mess of food. And I told you, like, I eat like a bird, and I didn't eat that much, and he was like offended.
Yeah,
he was upset.
Exactly. There's a line.
Here's another question. I'm gonna like kind of mix up this question a little bit. Is it acceptable to double stack a burger in this position?
That's shout out to my boy Trip Church. This is a quick story. Every year, baseball team before the playoffs in high school, they'd come to my house. We'd open up the pool about that time, beginning of summer. My dad would grill burgers, and he'd buy it on his dime, and he'd be like, guys, listen, I got enough patties for everyone, or I got enough for everybody to have 2. Like, everybody get 2, roll through. So my buddy Trip, we talked about the other day, he came over. This man double stacks patties on 2 buns. So he's got 4 patties.
What a beast.
Again, one of our coaches didn't get any because he ate 4. And I was just dying laughing. I'm like, yeah, that's what my dad's concern was, Trip, was the buns. You only get 2 buns.
That's so insane that he laid it out. Like, he laid the ground rules. He was like, hey, here's what we're maxing out at. And he was like, nah.
He's like, all right, yeah, cool. 2 burgers, just 2 double cheeseburgers. Like it's not like the buns were the issue. That's what kills me. He's like, I just got around.
You know, he said there's like, let's still just take 2.
Exactly, 2 burgers. At McDonald's, only 2 orders. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
An all-timer. But yeah, I think you have to eat 2, and I think 3rd is acceptable. Cannot go 4, and I think you need to at least go higher than 1. That's where I'm at on that.
At what point in the relationship could you go 4?
Oh, well, I'm married now, and I'm eating 4 if I'm ready for 4.
Yeah.
But this is like beginning of relationship stuff.
I know, but
something I would
contemplate
for sure.
At what point in the relationship can you?
I think it depends on how close you are to your parents.
Yeah, if they like you.
Right. Like, do they cook all the time, or is it like like 4 times.
If this is like the first time you're going to their house and your first time eating with them, I'm eating one. I'm sorry.
One, really?
One.
Nah, I'm going 2. I'm going 2. If
Then they
I
might
usually
think you don't
eat one
like their
anyways,
cooking.
yeah,
I
no,
think
I'm
it's typically
hungry, I'm going
typically what you would eat anyways, because I would only eat one normally.
Okay.
I probably would.
But that's the thing, though. In the back of your mind, you're like, they don't know that. They don't know that. They think I ate one burger and it's like, this thing sucks. I don't want another one. And there's 4 sitting over there. That's testy waters.
It is.
They cooked all this burger. They cooked way more than normal, and you know that going in. You see that, you're like, they definitely don't normally cook 8. They usually get the 4-pack. That they got 8 specifically for me. I have to eat another.
Yeah.
Buck Hammond's a Buck Hammond's forward, always asking the hard-hitting questions.
Yeah, shout out Buck Hammonds for that one. Guys, that's the type of answers you're going to get next time we pose this Q&A.
Yeah, ask the questions.
Hit us with real-life questions. Like, that's stuff you can use. Like, we're not just football-minded.
I know now.
This
Well, I
is
don't know how to
great
pass
advice.
it yet.
We have knowledge. Ask us some marriage advice. I've been married for a month, guys. I got this thing down pat. These 2 guys, they know about it. They're not married, but they know. They give you advice.
Dude, listen.
That's some
come on.
testy waters right there.
Yeah.
I'm be thinking about that question all night, but I'm landing on 2 mandatory, 3rd optional.
I think that's a good answer.
I
4th
think
is
2 is
off
a great
limits.
number right there. 4, yeah, 4 no.
And one is okay, but you're flirting with some misconceptions.
Right. Exactly.
Bro, I'm
2
6'1", 160 pounds. I think if I eat one,
That's
there's,
true.
yeah, he'll
2
explode. If he
is
has
the safest number there.
Right.
But even if you get like 1.5, you just get the other one.
Yeah.
You could cut it in half. That is a play. You could absolutely cut it in half. Be like, someone
Or
wants
no
the rest of
bun.
this.
They might think you're healthy.
Keto.
No, you can't go no bun.
I think you can. I think that's accepted. You eat one with a bun and one without.
Get a little A1, make a little hamburger.
Yeah.
steak.
But you can't double stack one burger. Like if
No.
I'm like my first burger, I'm like, you know what? Like
No,
I might
you
have
can't.
2 anyway.
You
Let me
could double stack the second one though. I think. Eat one regular, double stack the second. That gives
I
you
think
3
that's
patties.
weird.
I think the
don't know.
double stack.
If there's
I
4.
think it's a psycho move. I think it's the psycho move.
Really? What if it's thinner patties?
Then that's fine.
Okay.
If they're making like smash burgers,
So now we have
let's
to-
not get into the semantics of this. But if they're making like smash burgers,
Now we gotta start talking about patty fitness. All right, folks, that's the Street Boys. Have a
Yeah,
great
we're at the
week.
hour
Go
mark.
Dogs. Go Dogs always.
recipe.